Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're exploring something pretty significant, the global growth of Islam.
It's a topic with a lot of layers, definitely.
Exactly. And we've gathered some interesting stuff to help us unpack it, personal stories from places like Reddit where converts share their reasons, detailed demographic stats from Pew Research, and even some academic viewpoints on history and culture.
A real mix.
Yeah, the goal is to figure out what's really driving this, both the big picture numbers and the individual choices.
And the headline stat is quite something, isn't it? Islam being the fastest growing religion.
It really is. So let's dive in and see what that actually means.
Okay, so starting with those big numbers from Pew Research, they found that between 2010 and 2020, Islam grew faster than any other major religion.
Faster how? Like, what are the numbers?
Well, they added about 347 million adherents in that decade alone. That's huge. More growth, in fact, than all non-Muslim religions put together during that time.
Wow, put together. That's significant. And the projections.
The projections suggest it could reach near parity with Christianity around 2050.
2050. That's really not far off in demographic terms.
Not at all. And possibly become the largest religion by maybe 2070.
That suggests a major global shift. But it's not all just people converting, is it?
Right.
That's often the focus. But is it the whole story?
That's a really crucial point. No, it isn't the whole story. While conversions are part of it, the primary driver, according to Pew's analysis, is really demographics.
Demographics meaning?
Meaning birth rates and age structure, mainly. Muslim women globally have a higher average fertility rate, about 2.9 children compared to 2.2 for non-Muslim women.
Okay, higher birth rates.
And just as importantly, the global Muslim population is significantly younger. The median age is 24.
Compared to 30?
Compared to 33 for non-Muslims globally. So you just have a larger proportion of the population entering or already in their childbearing years. It creates demographic momentum.
Right. So while we hear stories about individuals converting, Pew actually estimates that the numbers leaving Islam and joining Islam are roughly comparable, about 1% each way.
Exactly. So conversions don't account for the bulk of the net global increase. Demographics do.
And geographically, where is this growth concentrated?
Mostly in the Asia-Pacific region and sub-Saharan Africa. Those are the major population centers. But migration is also a factor in growth in, say, Europe and North America.
Okay, so the numbers paint a clear picture of demographic momentum. But what about the individual level, that Reddit thread you mentioned and other sources?
Yeah.
What draws people personally?
Yeah, moving beyond the stats is key. And you do see common themes. One strong pull seems to be the clarity and simplicity many perceive in Islam.
Simplicity how?
The strict monotheism, the absolute oneness of God, and a straightforward creed. People often describe it as, well, logically satisfying.
Accessible, maybe?
Accessible, yes. And there's this concept of fitra, a kind of natural inclination towards God that resonates. Plus, the Quran's preservation over 1,400 years is often cited by converts as, evidence of its authenticity.
That makes sense. And beyond the theology, what about community?
That's another huge factor. Islam's emphasis on equality and universal brotherhood, regardless of race or class.
Like the Malcolm X example during Hajj.
Precisely. His experience witnessing genuine interracial harmony in Mecca was profound for him, challenging his earlier views. That sense of belonging of a global community or ummah is very powerful for many.
So clarity of belief, strong community. What else?
Purpose and structure. Islam offers a very structured way of life. The daily prayers, the fasting in Ramadan, the emphasis on charity or zakat.
These provide discipline.
Discipline, yes, but also moral clarity and, for many, a sense of spiritual fulfillment. A meaning that goes beyond just, materialism. It can lead to a real sense of inner peace for converts.
And historically, has this appeal changed? You mentioned Malabar.
Right. Historically, you see similar dynamics. In places like Malabar in India, the really rigid caste system meant that Islam's egalitarian message offered not just spiritual refuge, but actual social mobility for lower castes escaping untouchability. It was a path to dignity.
It's a compelling mix of intellectual, spiritual, and social factors. But introducing a universal faith into diverse cultures,
Yeah.
that can't always be smooth, right?
No, it definitely presents challenges. That's where the academic perspective comes in. You have principles, sometimes developed in a specific context, like, say, the Arabian desert, centuries ago.
Meeting vastly different local traditions.
Exactly. Think about dietary laws, like pork prohibition in colder climates where it might have been a traditional food source,
No.
or legal frameworks like interpretations of Sharia regarding gender roles interacting with cultures that had different, perhaps more egalitarian traditions.
So there can be friction.
There can be. It highlights the ongoing process of, negotiation and adaptation between a global faith and local realities. It calls for a kind of balance, respecting both the religious principles and cultural heritage.
Okay, so wrapping this up, Islam's rapid growth is clearly complex. It's driven significantly by these powerful demographic trends, birth rates, youth,
Absolutely. That's the engine, statistically speaking.
but also fueled by a whole spectrum of personal reasons.
Yeah.
The search for clarity, community, purpose, peace.
Right. Understanding both the big picture and the individual stories moves us beyond just the headlines. It helps appreciate the nuances of how religions change and grow globally.
So maybe the final thought for